Do you know there's different ways to get a location? Stay to the end of the video and I'm going to give you 5 ways to get an ATM location. Hi, I'm Phil from PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind group page, and we help hundreds of aspiring ATM business owners go from 0 ATMs to ATM Business Pro in as little as 30 days. Always remember, here at PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind group page, we buy your freedom back one transaction at a time. Without further ado, the top 5 ways to get an ATM business location. Way number 1. This one is pretty much hands down my favorite one, is the door-to-door. So what that means is you're going to go out into the ATM community, into the business community. You're going to stop by from location to location, knocking on doors, shaking hands, kissing babies. I don't know about kissing babies, but you're going to talk to business owners. Now, one of the ways I like to do it is I like to always go into the business and look like I'm a customer. So if it's a convenience store, I'm buying a soda or a Snapple or coffee. If it's a bar, I usually stop in. If they have lunch, I usually eat lunch. If it's a gas station, I'm gonna get some gas and then go inside if they sell convenience store stuff, I'm gonna go inside and see if there's an ATM. So it just depends what kind of location. I know a barber, a lot of guys go in, they get a haircut just to see if, hey, there's an ATM there, and they talk to the owner usually when they're there. So the door-to-door is always a good way to get a ATM in your location. And then plus you get the owner will usually, if they're there, if they're working, they come talk to you because they're trying to sell you something, and now you can ask questions. They'll give you a bunch of answers. And hey, I noticed that you didn't have an ATM in here. Did you ever think about getting an ATM? And then they'll tell you, because they're not thinking, oh, you're trying to get an ATM in here. They're just having a conversation with you. And at that time is always the best time. Hey, you know what? I'm in the ATM business. If you were interested, we put an ATM in your business free of charge. So that's a nice way to do it. But to door, a lot of people in the ATM business are like, I don't like to do door to door. You know what? You're not really selling, you're servicing, you're helping out the business people to get your ATM in their business and generate traffic, not only so you can generate traffic into their location, but you're also providing a much needed service for that business owner. Point number 2 is the cold calling. Now, how do you do that? You can either pick up the phone, you can get a nice list from Fiverr, you can see all the businesses that you want to target, or you can hire somebody to do cold calling in this area. There's a lot of cold calling services. You just tell them what area you want it to cover and look at the zip codes and look at the businesses that you want to go after, have somebody cold call. You'll have to write them a script. It's something that, and then when they get some leads, then they can follow that leads to you. You can follow it up and go talk to those business owners. So if you're thinking about starting your own ATM business, stay to the end of the video and I will share with you a checklist on how to start your ATM business the right way, even if you have 0 experience. In this checklist, I will share with you the 5 things you need to start your profitable ATM business so you can build a passive income source for your family. You'll have a clear roadmap towards ATM business success so you can earn between $250 and $1,500 of passive income every single month. All right, let's get back to the video. Point number 3, this is the best one, the Locator Service. I like this one, but what I like to do is I like to create locators, but there are other people out there, they are locators. They'll go into the location, they'll do all the dirty work, they'll make the handshakes, they'll get the attention of the owner, and then they'll do all that hard lifting for you. And then the results are they'll either sign you a contract or they'll tell you to go in, this guy's all ready, and then you can go in and sign the deal. But the locator by far is always the best service. It cuts down a lot of time and makes it easier. Now, however, there are some guys, and I see them in the chats, they're locators, they're finding locations for you. You have to make the decision, hey, are these locators, are they good? Or are they just getting me a location to get a location? What is the benefit for me, the ATM operator? You'll have to make the distinction. Hey, is this going to be a good location or not? I see some guys are trying to put ATMs in questionable locations that I wouldn't necessarily think is a good location, but these guys maybe think they are, so you might want to try it out. But the locator, again, is not necessarily going to put an ATM in the best location for you, but you're going to have to make that decision. Is this going to be a good locator for me? For us, it's been by far the best way to get new locations. Sometimes it costs a little bit of money. It just depends on how you value your time. Is the amount of money that they're asking, is that worth my time going out door to door? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So you got to make the distinction, but for us, the locator is always the best method. Point number 4 is the referral. What's a referral, Phil? Here's what a referral is. Hey, my buddy Phil, he's in the ATM business, and I noticed that, you know what, Sam, you don't have an ATM in your bar, and I'm gonna call Phil up, and you know what, he's gonna come down. Sam says, yep, you know what, we're looking for an ATM, we couldn't figure it out, the bank didn't want to put one in, and we'd like an ATM. Tell your buddy Phil to come down. Now what happens? You go down, you say, hey, Sam told me that you were looking for an ATM. You say, yep. You cut the deal with him, you lay it all out, you paper it up, because I always ask for location agreements. You paper it all up, and then you say, we'll be here in 10 days, and you put the ATM in. That's a referral. It works really good. Also, if you want to join some networking groups or some business groups to help out with some of those referrals, it always works great. It cuts down some of the door-to-door knocking or some of the legwork that you're going to have to do. I always like the referral. And point number 5, when we talk about the locator, I like to create my own locators. What does that mean? I'm always a big advocate of partnering up with some of the beer distributors or the liquor salesmen or chip guys or mechanics in the laundromat or guys that sell to the vape shops, those guys that sell barber supplies. I create those relationships because they're already in those locations. They know all the players know them, and they trust them. So it doesn't take a lot of legwork for me, and it doesn't take a lot of legwork for them. All they're doing is saying, hey, you know what, we got another value-added service, and it adds credibility to these guys, and then it helps us grow our ATM business. So I always try to create locators. That way it works. They get some money, we get an ATM in a location, or we trade services. Sometimes it's just referrals. But for me, creating a locator is the best, by far, best way to grow your ATM business. So if you're interested in starting your own ATM business, I want to invite you to my free checklist entitled ATM Business Passive Income Checklist. The top 5 things you need to start a profitable ATM business, where I'll share with you 5 things you need to start a profitable ATM business so you can start earning passive income, make more money, and spend more time with your family. So click the link down below. Again, this is Phil from PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind Group page, where we buy your freedom back one transaction at a time. Thank you guys very much.